Good morning. Happy Tuesday, everybody. It's Jen coming to you from my kitchen for our Tuesday kitchen counter coaching. So on our Q&A today, I have two topics to share with you. The first one is yogurt. I've had lots and lots of questions lately about yogurt. People want to know, is yogurt good? I love that question. Is any food good or bad? That's always such an interesting question to handle. That's our first topic today is yogurt. And I have a couple different things I want to talk about. The second one is a little bit more personal, but I want to share it because I think it's important and I want you guys to get to know me a little more. So the first one, we'll start with this yogurt. So is yogurt bad? Okay, so the first question you need to ask yourself, because this is super personal, the first question you need to ask yourself is, how does your body handle dairy? How do you feel when you eat dairy? If the answer is that you have stomach bloat or you wake up a lot at night, I know that seems crazy, but it's true. So dairy can make you wake up a lot at night if it doesn't work for your body. Also, if dairy causes gas for you, it's not natural. So we're not meant to have a lot of gas, okay? Sorry, unpleasant but truthful. So if you don't have any of those problems with dairy, or if you can do a small amount of dairy and you don't suffer from the dairy, then it's fine. People who do suffer from dairy can often still do a little bit of yogurt because it is fermented. So if you are able to do a small amount, yogurt is also okay for you. Kefir also is good for you if you are able to do a small amount. If not, that's okay. Lots of other things you can eat besides yogurt, so no worries there. How do you choose the right yogurt is another question. I'm going to hurt your feelings if you go to your fridge right now and pull out yogurts that are fruit flavored or have added fruit in them and flip them over to the back and read the ingredient label. If you're over 5 grams of sugar, it's too much. And it's going to be hard because most of the sugars that have fruit in them have sometimes 12, 14, 22, 32 grams of sugar in them. You have to divide that. So let's say it has 12 grams of sugar. Divided by 4, that's 3 teaspoons of sugar in 1 container of yogurt. Not okay. So what do you do instead? The way that I like to sweeten yogurt when I have it is with a little bit of raw local honey, because that's going to add to my body and it's going to sweeten the yogurt a little bit. Another option is chia jam. I love chia jam because all chia jam includes is mixed berries that I get from the bag in the freezer, chia, and water. And I just simmer that on the stove. I simmer the berries until they're mushy, and then I smash them down a little bit, add some water, and then do the chia like a teaspoon at a time into the water, stirring, stirring, stirring. Make some chia jam. The only thing in there is berries and chia, so that's also good to go in your yogurt. It's also great for sandwiches if you're going to have looking for a substitute for the regular jellies. See how I get off track so quickly? Sorry. So chia jam is also another option to add into the yogurt. The other thing is manuka honey. If you haven't heard of manuka honey, it's a very powerful healing honey that is from New Zealand. And veterinarians actually use it for wound care for animals, and it really helps the body heal. So imagine what that could do for your immune system. Yeah, good stuff. So those are all good ways to sweeten yogurt. You can also just put fruit in there. Why not? Those are good ways. So it's much better to sweeten it yourself because you're going to put a lot less of a sweet ingredient in it to get the same results and often even tastier results. So how now do you switch from the sweetened yogurt that you've been buying to more plain yogurt? So I call that the dog food method. If you have a puppy dog, you know what I mean. Whenever we change foods for our puppy dogs, we do it a little bit at a time. So if it's a cup of food, we would do a quarter of the cup would be the new food, and 3/4 old, and then half and half, and then a quarter of the old, and then 3/4 of the new. You can do the same thing with yogurt, except with a spoonful. So get a container of plain yogurt, get a container of your sweetened yogurt, mix a little bit together, and then use that plain yogurt to refill or top off that sweetened yogurt. Keep it in the sweetened yogurt container, trust me on that one, and just stir. When you get to the point where somebody notices in the house, or you notice and you're thinking, oh, this is too much, that's when you back off. And adding only a small amount of the pre-sweetened yogurt to plain yogurt, that's the way to go. You're going to have much less sugar in it that way. Okay, so those are my yogurt answers for today. Now, the second thing I wanted to talk about today was the origin of the name of my business, Growing Green Tomatoes. So it's special to me. And a couple of people in the last week actually have asked me about the name Growing Green Tomatoes. When I was little, I would go to my grandparents' house on the weekend. And my grandfather, who has since passed, was very tall, very commanding person. And pretty much everybody was intimidated and frightened by him, except for me. Apparently, I was a little spitfire. I don't know, that's what I've been told. But he would call me, and he called me Buster, and he would get me from inside and on Saturday mornings, Sunday mornings, and we would go out to his garden, and we wouldn't talk, but we would walk through the rows, and anytime there were green tomatoes on the ground, he would hand them to me. And I would gather them in my little tiny shirt, and I'd take them in the house for my grandmom to sit on her kitchen window. What is important about that was that he shared with me not just the walk in the garden, but the joy of being one with the food that he was growing and finding peace, and sharing that with me, this big, real tough guy who, super intimidating, loud voice, and he shared that with me. And I think it truly planted in me a desire to be one with my food, to find peace with food, and now, as a coach, to share that peace with all of you. And so that's where the name of the business came, because you guys are my green tomatoes. You guys are sitting on my windowsill, growing ripe and becoming you, the fullness of you and who you can be and your potential. And it's my job just to cheer you on and make sure that you're getting the sun, make sure that you're getting the joy in your life that you can. So that's my job as a coach. So that's the origin of the name, and I wanted to share that with you because it has a great meaning to me, and I will always be so grateful to my grandfather for sharing that with me, and it's a way for me to honor him as well, and that feels good. It's roots to me. It's roots. It feels real good. Okay, so I need more questions for next week. Keep them coming. So you can email me questions. You can send them. You can post them on the garden page if you are not yet a member of the garden, because I will be sharing this one with the Facebook page. If you're not yet a member and you'd like to become a member of the garden, email me at jen with one n at growinggreentomatoes.com, or you can message me on the Growing Green Tomatoes Facebook page. I look forward to hearing from you. Please send questions. I love to answer them. Happy Tuesday. Have a great day.